I wanted to talk with you today about this idea of the middle path to creation, to bringing forth our creative endeavors in this life. And before I do that, the context for this is that at a certain level of development in our life, our soulful evolution and even spiritual evolution comes from us taking the courageous steps to create and offer up, to share. Yeah? And it's through the creating and through the offering up that we actually experience the spiritual and the soulful evolution. Now, I'm a meditator. I love to meditate. And when I meditate, that's my opportunity to dissolve. I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just. Everything dissolves and slips away. And that gives a kind of spiritual potency and a steadiness. Yeah, when we're not being whipped around by the mind, when we know ourselves as something infinitely bigger, infinitely deeper than just our mind, than just our emotions. And what I found over the years is that as much liberation as I would experience in meditation, free from all the stuff, that the other half, if you will, or the other part of the work in terms of my own spiritual and soulful evolution had to do with the becoming part of my experience, meaning the doing. And just like I can get lost in the mind if I'm meditating and I'm not choosing to be intentional with having no relationship to my mind, to my thoughts, I can also get lost in creation, in the creative mode, where I get so busy with being busy. I got so busy almost running away. I'm running away from my own fears, those fears that come up about not doing it right or whatever. They're endless, right? All the number of fears or doubts that might come up, that I can get busy with being busy and not be mindful in the creative process. And it doesn't, I might still create something cool, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the creative process itself was serving as spiritual journey. So it takes some measure of awareness and intentionality for our creative journey to facilitate our spiritual depth and our soulful evolution. And I think if you're still listening to this, then you're one of those people whose being is asking for evolution in the soul and of the spirit through the creative process. So here's the piece that I wanted to offer up, is that on Creative Path, particularly for soulful individuals who are bringing forth something from the level of their heart, and something that this deep stirring in them that says, I'm here to bring this forth. I'm here to do this. And then as soon as they think that thought, their mind is like, you what? Who do you think you are? And you aren't qualified, and blah, 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 blah. But then there's something in them that's undeniable. Oh, I'm here to do something around something like this, like to be of service, to bring light, to bring love, to facilitate ease. Yeah. So the default mode with our current paradigm in relationship to producing something as you're creating, production, is to, in essence, force yourself to do it. Like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, sit down and force this stuff to come up. There's a deadline. Get to work. Alternatively, we can have the experience of maybe at the opposite, completely collapsing, getting overwhelmed, pulling the cover up over our heads, or sometimes it's like if you're just too scared every time you think about creating what it is that you want to create, even though you don't totally know what it is, but as soon as you start going there, you get completely overwhelmed and you shut down, you short circuit, and you get into bed and you pull the covers up over your head, or you start binge watching a show, or you overeat, you anesthetize yourself in some way. So I want you to feel how those two things that I just described are two ends of a polarized continuum. Forcing yourself with this kind of dominating energy, or going into complete submissive energy of helplessness or hopelessness. Now, these are the two extreme ends of the continuum, and they also have the vibration of a certain level of development and a certain paradigm where we use this movement between domination and submission, this movement between domination and submission, to create a momentum, to create something, to build something, to bring something into the world. Now, this movement between domination and submission, it is part of slavery, enslavement of energy, enslavement of the human mind, enslavement of experience, enslavement within the self, all the different ways that we create or recreate enslavement within our own experience. And it's fundamentally rooted in lack consciousness and a pinging back and forth between fear and desire, and I mean unproductive fear, unproductive desire, unproductive fear, unproductive desire. And within this movement of using domination and submission to sort of gain traction, to create something, the vibration that gets infused into what's created is a reflection of these cycles of domination and submission. And if you're still listening to me right now, it's because you're most likely a human soul who is incarnated now to create something different. Can you feel? You may not totally understand what that different thing is yet, but you can feel that it's different. You can feel that it's calling forth something different inside of you, a different capacity, a different kind of connected willingness. And the entire energy around it is completely different than swinging between domination and submission, swinging between forcing and succumbing. This is huge. And so this piece that I want to put into your soup pot for some simmering is that there is another way to come to creation, to come to bringing forth what it is that wants to birth through you. There's another way to come to the birthing of the next version of yourself. And the entry point into this different way is spaciousness. So rather than a pushing or a collapsing, rather than treading water, being busy, avoiding, just stopping stopping, leaning back, breathing and being breathed. Like that. Like that. And as you do this and we do this, we have our eyes open, we have our hearts open, and the intention is on space. Like that. There's another way, there's another path that presents itself. It just presents itself because it's always been there as an option, and we are waking up to our capacity to choose this. And as we choose this and as we create from this path that is beyond polarity, it transcends but yet includes opposites. Opposites exist, they always will in our world of duality here on this earth plane. But it is not primarily governed by the oscillation between opposites. It is governed by this beautiful bridge of our now self to our future self and our alignment with the desire that's desiring us, and choosing space, receiving the message, the knowing, the prompting, taking emergent action in relationship to that. Again, choosing space, receiving any message, any direction, any prompting, taking emergent action in relationship to that. And this is how we get to move forward in a different way. Beautiful. It was so good to spend this time with you, with me, to spend time opening up this space for a different way of being. And from my heart to yours. I look forward to hearing from you and hearing what's percolating, what you're wanting to create, how you're creating differently, how you're coming to yourself in different ways. Do share if you feel called to. And until next time.